How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. I'm happy. Um, living in the moment when I can, enjoying the small things and keeping hope alive.
Oh wow, I love that. And I feel like that's always how like I interact with you. You have that same spirit and energy, and so definitely something we can all like use some of right now in these times. Um, I can't help but notice what you're wearing because you're. Are those cats?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. It's
I
fun.
love,
I'm also wearing like I think this is like some kind of animal.
yay, I approve. I love
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah.
Animals are like pure energy that pick out little bodies to come hang out on this planet for a while, and then they take off their bodies when they're done, just like we do, and go back to spirit. So I think animals are holy and sacred, and I just love animals.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I love that. And Holly, I don't know like if well, obviously people don't know, but Holly is a librarian, right? And
Yep.
um and you have a lot of interests, but I guess before we dive into like your 10 million interests, um I guess we'll start with off with that. Like, as a librarian, like, can you tell us a little bit about your path? Like, did you know you were going to be a librarian when you were little?
Well, I always loved libraries. And when I was in high school, I worked as a page in the public library system. So that was, I shelved the books, I checked people in and out, and just did general stuff around the library. And I've always loved library work, every bit of it. Went to college to be I studied to be a teacher because I was an English major. I loved English. I loved reading. I loved literature. And I wanted to be in a place where I could pass that love on. And well, what do? You teach. So I got almost all the way through with my master's in education when we had to do the practicum. So I did my student teaching, and it turned out I am useless in a room full of 12-year-olds. I just could not handle it. So I did not end up being a teacher. I lucked into a library job, a public library job in Baltimore City. And they did not require a degree to perform as a librarian. And I was there for almost 23 years.
Oh,
So from there, I was in a position where I could do uh, book talks, I could do film programming, I could do readers advisory. So in a way, I got to pass on my love of learning and literature, like I had always wanted to do.
wow.
When the pandemic hit, I a little bit older, and I was like, it was a good time for a shift, and I shifted into academic librarianship. So now I am a librarian in a university, and I just love it. I love interacting with the students. I love being in a university setting. It's just so rich, and I'm so lucky to be here. But yeah, I did not go the traditional path into librarianship. It, you just, I felt like you want something, you put the vibe out there, and the universe, if it's a match, the universe will bring it to you. And that's kind of what I felt.
Wow. You sound like a very intuitive person. Um, and we'll get into that in a second, but I also just wanted to I guess comment on how librarians are so precious. Because like yeah, I mean I don't know about in the university setting, but at least in like the more public facing community libraries where there's always like ban these kinds of books and ban these kind of materials. And do you experience similar climate in like a university kind of librarian position or no?
Very lucky not to have to face that, but there is no doubt that our freedoms are under attack, including our freedoms to choose what information, what data, what fun books we consume. So librarians are the defenders of that. So I appreciate your gratitude.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
grateful for them too.
thank you for your service. No, I'm serious. Thank you for
Happy
your
to
service.
serve.
um, and then yeah, so I'm gonna go back to something that you mentioned where um like you said putting something out to the universe and then I guess looking out for those signals and conferring that with yourself, like, do I still feel this way? Is this also how you, I guess, pursue your many hobbies and interests?
Yes, it's totally by feel. I go by feel. I go by, I think about, well, what do I want? What do I want to create? What do I want to experience? What do I want others to create? What do I want others to experience? And you take that, and thoughts are things. Thought energy is creates reality. So if you have a vivid imagination, you can come up with wonderful things, and the universe will meet you. If you are vibing at a certain frequency, the universe will match you where you are and bring you more of that. So if you are creative and happy, more things going to happen to you that brings out the creativity. If you are negative and frightened, then you're vibing low, and that's all you're going to see are things that are negative and painful. So I like to create happy environments and happy events. I like to throw a 12th night masquerade ball every year, and I like to throw a party in the spring. And I just think about what would be fun for people, what would be good for them to blow off steam or express themselves. So a masquerade ball is a great place to do that. So I'm very lucky that I have the resources available to me where I can open my home to as many as 100 people and invite them to wear a costume. I'll help them make a costume, make and just come and dance and eat and drink and talk and meet people. It makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is helping everyone else, well, and myself, just feel happy and experience joy.
I love that. And the audience doesn't know, but I've been to one of your parties in your, I guess people would call your house a mansion, actually, right? It's a
Yeah.
not trying to out your house there, but it's a very prominent house slash mansion in Little Italy in Baltimore. Um, it's it's like and like before I went to your party, people have talked about your house, and I was like, "What?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's been published in like the newspaper locally. It's been featured there because there's just like it's first of all, it's massive, historical, and you have put a lot of not just renovating it, but just putting all this very unique features that like, you would not see in a regular house." And so this is like the pre-introduction to going to your party. And then once I got there, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And you're right. I mean, if that was your goal to like bring joy to everyone, you definitely brought me joy. And I saw everybody having fun. There's like a DJ, there's like the band where your husband is a part of, and there's like the monarchs. Is that what you call them? Like your team?
Yes, we so you came to the 12th night masquerade ball. The 12th night celebrates the last day of Christmas and the first day of Mardi Gras. And in Mardi Gras, you get a king cake, and in the cake is a little baby or a little bean or a little toy. And whoever gets the bean or the baby or the toy in their slice of cake, I crown them king, queen, that usually it's a king and a queen, but we've decided to be gender neutral about it. So we just have monarchs. So if you get the little toy in your piece of cake, then you are king or queen or monarch or whatever. You are the ruler of the party.
Okay, I
And
didn't know that. I didn't know that. But here's the thing. I went in there not knowing this and I still had fun. And now I'm learning more actually about the all the things there. And so I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, 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 no. No, I love collecting and assembling strange objects, interesting objects, things that I find interesting. So all over my house, you'll find collections of figurines, dolls, stuffed toy kitty cats, flowers, little bits of things I find in nature, along with more modern design elements. I myself want to be surrounded by things that bring me joy and things that amuse me. So yeah, I, and the best, if I don't do it for myself, I mean, I do it for myself, but I do it for others. It's fun to have these collections, but it's even more fun when people can come over to my house and see them and, and I can share that way. I feel like I'm sharing inside of my head when you come to my house and see all my stuff.
Yeah, no,
So,
I remember a lot of well, this was maybe because this is also like the 12th night. So I remember seeing a lot of like Christmas related figurines and ornaments. Um, I think that one room on the second floor is like a big room and there's a mural. And
yeah.
right now I can't remember the person. Was it Edgar Allan Poe or
Yes, I have a huge banner of Edgar Allan Poe. I rescued that out of the dumpster of the public library.
wow. And it's huge.
Yeah,
It's like wall, it's like wall to wall kind of from the top of the wall to the bottom of the wall. I mean, it's the whole wall. I
yeah.
remember that. I don't know if I remember seeing this, but in that article where I learned about your house, they talked about you put a clawfoot tub like in the middle of a room, not necessarily like in a bathroom. Is that true? I don't remember seeing that.
No, I had a bathtub out on the deck
That
for a
maybe it's
garden,
that. Maybe
but
that's
in my living room, that's unusual is the trapeze. I used to do low flying trapeze and aerial dance, so I had a
no
trapeze in
way.
my living room. I don't do that anymore, but I leave the trapeze there because when I have parties, people like to come and play on it.
Wow, this is super random. Like what you're telling me is random, but also one of my birthday parties, I don't remember when, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I wanted to try like aerial arts. So my birthday party was like going to one of those aerial silk um
Oh, yeah,
kind of parties. And
yeah,
they look so cool to me, but actually, I did it. It hurt so much.
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
expect that.
and
But
muscles you didn't know you had getting worked. I do a lot of things that are that I'm not good at, but I want to do them anyway. Like low flying trapeze and aerial dance, belly dance, synchronized swimming. Uh, I love to do things, even if I'm not good at them. You do them just for the sheer joy of it.
yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm talking myself into getting back on that trapeze, even though it's
I'll
hurt
join
my
you.
arm.
Yeah, actually, I think we're like soul sisters, Holly, because so the list you mentioned, I feel like things that I've also dabbled in. But I had a similar kind of, I guess, what's the word for it? Like approach in that like, hey, I want to try this and I try that, and it doesn't matter if I'm not good. Obviously, I've never done it before, so why be scared to like try it out? Like I don't have to be perfect the first time I get on the trapeze, right? Unless you're like, I don't know, you were a child of trapeze artist. I mean,
It's a fear of failure, and I think it takes a certain maturity to learn and realize that there is no failure. You
mm,
know, the failure is in not attempting, you know, so if you suck at something, well, at least you tried it, you got
Yeah.
something out of it, and you learned something. Or you tried it, you suck at it, you like it, and you do it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, you have to please yourself. And a lot of the times when you are doing something and you feel that it makes you feel good when you're doing it, no matter what the outcome is, that good feeling goes to other people. The energy of that goes to other people and they feel it too.
Wow. Wow. I love that. And I'm learning that every day, even with like creating this YouTube show, right? Where it's just like, well, I've never done a YouTube show before, but I'm just like, I'm just going to do it, right? Because like, um, for my job, I do a lot of planning and execution and stuff like that. And this is more like just for me, but I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't know. I just have to just, just go and dive into it instead of like over planning and trying to be a perfectionist and actually never starting or launching it. So
Exactly.
that's, I think that's really valuable to hear that. And then I know again, going back to your house, which your mansion, because I think it's really amazing and I can't even describe it. You have to go there, right? But how do you figure out how you want to design your house?
Well, when we first got it, well, first it was a brewery. It was built in 1895. It was the Gottlieb and Baron Brewery. And I don't know how long it was a brewery, but it wasn't always that way. It was after that, it was the Atlantic Mattress Company. After that, it was a warehouse for Singer sewing machines. At one point, it was an oyster processing plant, and the word oysters can still be seen painted on the east side of the building. It was Joseph A. Banks' uh, clothing factory as well as showroom. When we first moved in, we got into the freight elevator, and there were um, pieces of patterns and fabrics that was so old it just disintegrated. Uh, so the house has a lot of history, has been a lot of things. And this couple bought it and began to turn it into a single family home. And they abandoned the project 3/4 of the way through. And that's when we bought it. And when we were looking to buy a house in 1999, my husband and I had just gotten married. We were looking to buy a house. And the real estate agent said, "You've got to see this place. It's too big for you and you can't afford it, but you just got to see it." So we went to see it. And
Alan,
sure enough, we were like, this is too big. This is too much. And we can't afford it anyway. But we never stopped thinking about it. We kept, it's just, we put it out to the universe unconsciously. This is something we want.
mm,
And eventually, and not too soon, but eventually, the price came down to something we could afford. And we were able to buy that house, that old warehouse, that old brewery. And we began to turn it into our own playhouse. I mean, the painting, you've seen the checkerboards and the stripes and the bright colors painted everywhere. Those are all expressions uh, of joy, of things that make us happy.
mm,
Every day I go home and look at my house and look at the painting and the colors, and I'm just happy.
wow.
Uh, yeah, but again, I think that's just if you want something, you put it out there. If you're vibing at a certain frequency, the universe will meet you there.
Wow.
I don't want to sound all law of attraction and the secret, but it's I'm living proof. You know,
Wow.
you you can create your own happiness.
I love that. I really love that. And you talk about your house with so much endearment, right? And you create the house because it makes you happy. And when your guests, like myself, go to your house, we also get happy. So um, I think it's a blessing to be able to share this physical joy with others like myself. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people have told you that like, they love going to your house and your parties. Um, and it's real. And I think it's not just the physical, but you yourself, like you are just this glowing personality. I mean, you are like the walking sunshine. I don't know
And you know,
how to describe it.
Miller, it takes one to know one. It takes a walking sunshine to know a walking sunshine. So that's you. You are a joy and a delight, and I'm lucky to know you.
Oh, thank you. I feel like when we're talking, there's a supernova around us. Like we're exploding together in the best way possible. Love it. Yeah, exactly. Is
Hard work.
these two people are too happy. Oh my
No
God.
such thing. No such thing.
Oh,
All right, it's time for me to go, but we can continue this another time.
yeah, no, I really
It was a
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Yeah, thank you again. And I guess I'll see you at your mansion.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.